In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up matching rules in the bank feeds in Adbooks and how to import transactions directly from your bank. Firstly, all we need to do is go to the bank module on the left hand side of the screen. If you scroll down and choose the bank account that you've set up the bank feed for, you will see that the activate button will change to import, which means it's ready to import transactions. If we click on the import button, all we need to do is choose the date range of the transactions that we want to import. If I just choose the start of April 2014 and I'm going to go to the end of April, hit the load transaction button, and then the system will go through and automatically bring through those transactions from your bank. What you can do, you can set up matching rules. So once we've seen the transactions come in from the bank, we will see that we have an auto assign rule. So this basically means if you see money coming into the bank or going out of the bank that match a transaction that is in the bank, so a sales or a purchase invoice, it will automatically assign. So we can see the system is seeing £2,050 come into my bank, and it's basically paid it against an invoice number 3, £2,050. If I scroll up, we have the option to set up additional rules. So all we do is click on the matching rules section, and here we can see our auto assign rule is turned on. To create more rules, all we need to do is hit the create button in the top right hand side of the screen. Now what we would be doing here is sitting with the bank statement and looking at the sort of repeat transactions that come in and out of your bank. In my bank statement, I can see that I've got my rent. So what I need to do, I click on money going out because it's money going out of my bank. On my bank statement, we need to put in a keyword, so I can put rent in here. And then what do you want the system to do? We can create sales invoices, purchase invoices, or we can just post the transaction directly into the bank. That's what I'm going to do with my rent. I'm going to click on transaction, and if we just click on the drop down list, all you need to do is type in the word, and we can now see my rent is there, and we can choose the VAT that needs to be assigned against that. So I've got 20% VAT, and we need to give that rule a name. Another transaction in my bank, if I hit create, I've also got money coming into my bank because I receive interest on my account. So all I need to do is type the word interest, and then I'm going to create a transaction, and we're just going to type the word interest, and I've got my interest received because it's money coming in. There's no VAT applicable on that, so I just choose NA, and then I just give that a name, interest, and hit save. And you can see it's really easy. We can see this list grow, and it's pretty simple just to create some rules. I'm just going to create one more, which is money going out, and on my bank statement it says cash flow. Now what I'm going to do, instead of posting a transaction, I want the system to create a purchase invoice for them. So I'm going to click on purchase orders, and then I'm going to choose the supplier. Now I've already got cash flow set up as a supplier, so I can just click them in here. If there was a new supplier, you can just hit the plus sign to quickly add a supplier record. The purchase code, so I'm just going to select materials on here, and our VAT amount is 20%, and I'm just going to give that rule a name and hit save. What that means now is if we go back through to the bank feed screen and we choose the date range of the transactions we want to import, so I'm going to do what we did a minute ago, start to the end of April, hit load transactions, and we will now see that our bank statement on the left hand side has now created the transactions in Adbooks on the right hand side. So we can see we have our auto assign at the top, so it's created that invoice. We've created 3 new purchase invoices for cash flow, and it's given them a reference number, and you can see it's posted my interest received and my rent. So all we need to do is on your bank statements just continue that process for any repeat money that come in or out of the bank. Just add the rule in, and it just means when it comes to doing your bookkeeping and importing your bank feed, it's basically going to do a lot of those matching automatically, which is going to save you time within your business, and it's also going to make your bookkeeping a lot more accurate. If there's a transaction that hasn't matched, so we've got one in here, we can just hit the match button in the middle of the screen. And what it would do, we can see now that I've got a purchase invoice that I can match that against. Or if we go to the create screen again, we could create a new purchase, or we could just post that directly in the bank if we wish to. I'm going to choose that, and I'm just going to select the purchase invoice in there and just click assign, and we can now see that has been assigned against that transaction. All I need to do then is just go to the import now button at the top of the screen, and if I just click import, we can see 7 transactions have been imported and none of those transactions have left unmatched. So if we go and have a look at our bank from April 2014 and we hit go, we can now see all of those transactions have come straight in from our bank feed. If we go to our purchases screen on the left hand side, we can see that all of those transactions have been put in. So we've got our 4 purchase invoices that were created and they've all been marked off as paid, and the payment is in the bank. If we go through to the invoices module on the left hand side, we can now see that the invoice we had for £2,050 is marked as paid, and if we click into that invoice and scroll down, we can see that that payment is listed and we can see which account it's gone into itself. And if we go to the bank screen on the left hand side, we'll now see that that bank has got a balance of £259.05. That's how easy it is just to import and set up matching rules for bank feeds in Adbooks.